Alright, this is a video lesson on bar chords, and so I'm just going to give you some of the basics for bar chords. So first off, you need to learn the first position chords, which you've already, if you've done the basic chords that I did earlier on an earlier video, you would know them, but I'm going to go through them again because it's really important. So we're going to learn the E form chords first, and this is all based off of this E, open E, which is an E chord. And then after this, we're going to go to the A chord, which is the 5th fret. But right now, we're going to focus on E chords, bar chords, and E form, and you'll see what that means. That's really important. So right here, here's an E major chord, right? That's a good old E major chord. Here's an E minor chord, just those two. And here's an A minor 7 chord, just that one right there. Here's an E sus, which means suspended. So it's these two right there. I don't know if you can see that. And then the E7 is just this one takes off and this one goes there. And those all can be hit from the right from the top, strumming that top. So that's an E7, then back to the E. And then so let's do that again. So E major, E minor, E minor 7, E sus, E7, and E major. Now those are all E chords in E form, and the reason they're E form, because you're going to see in a second. Now we're going to start making some bar chords. Now what I did in the earlier video also is saying that this is an open E, and if you go up the fret, it goes E to an F note, to a G note, 5th fret is the A note, B is the 7th, the 8th is C, 10th is D, and the 12th is E. Alright, so that's important because as we make these chords, but so when you're making the first position chords, you're not needing this index finger because this nut is there. But once you go up one fret, you're going to need to use your index finger to make the bar. So instead of making those chords like that, which you can in first position, I'm going to switch and make them like this because I have to keep this available, and you'll see it in a second. So let's do them like this. So there's an E major, there's an E minor 7, E sus, E7, and then back to E major. Now, the reason I did it like that, because now we're going to go up to the key of F. So remember I said that's an E open and then that's an F note. So watch this. We're making an E major here. So if you go up one half step and then use your index finger to bar, okay, so now my index finger is acting as this bar, or this nut. So I went from E major to F major. Why is it an F? Is because this note is being hit. Went from E to F, so that's the F note. So that's an E major. Now it's F major because I'm hitting this note. So that's an F major in E form. It's an F major in E form because that's an E major chord. So, and the reason it's F is because that note is an F note, right there, that note. So E major, because that's open. This is open, and now we go to F. F major in E form. So F. Now we're going to make a minor chord. There's an F minor. Okay, in E form. Remember, E minor? So there's an F minor. How about an F minor 7? There it is. In E form. Okay, how about an F sus? There it is. In E form. And then how about an F7, which is right there. In E form. Remember there was an E7, so there's an F7. And then back to F major. So the same thing applies. So you got E, F, G. G is on the 3rd fret. That is a G note. So when you make these bar chords in E form, they all become G now, but the formula stays the same, or the form. So that's a G note. So there's a G major chord in E form, right? Just like the E chord. So there's a G major chord. There's a G minor chord in E form. Here's a G minor 7 in E form. Here's a G sus in E form, and here's a G7 in E form. So if that's a G7, that's an F7, right? We just learned that. So F7, G7, and if we go up, there's A is right there. So let's try it again. So we got A, there's the A note. So A major chord in E form. Remember the E thing? There we go. So, but it's A. So A major chord in E form, A minor chord in E form, A minor 7 in E form, A sus in E form, A7 in E form. Remember? G7 E form. These are all E form because we're basing this off the root on this E, on this 6th string. But after you go up from E, F, G, whatever that note is, that's the chord you're at. So if we were B, there's B major chord in E form, B minor in E form. Excuse me. B minor 7 in E form, B sus. Okay, you get the idea? So A major, G major, F major, E major. Okay, so that, and also another way for, like if this was a G minor 7 in E form, well, like I said, I make minor 7 chords like that, just based off that. It's a little easier sometime, but I'm not going to get into that right now. So now let's go down to bar chords in A. So we're going to be using the this 5th string, which is A open. So let's learn that up the neck really quick. So that's E. That's A, and then B, which is the 2nd string, 2nd fret. B, and there's C on the 3rd fret, and there's D note, E, F, G, A, and that starts over again, B and C and so on. So let's do that again. A open, and then B, and then C on the 3rd fret, D, E, F, G, A. So now let's learn these A form chords. Okay, so getting back to the A chords, basically let's do the major chords. So there's an A major chord, right? We did that earlier, A major. A minor chord, and we're basically using the 5th string before we do all these. A minor, there's A minor 7. Okay, there's A sus. It's actually your little finger is right there. This is not being used at all. It's just off. So there's an A minor. There's an A sus. There's an A7. Just those two. And here's an A major 7, which is that one there, and then these two. Pretty chord. So let's do that again. So A major, A minor, A minor 7, A sus, A7, A major 7, and back to A. Okay, so now we're going to do bar chords in A form. So this is an A note open. So A, and then we got B, and then C, right? So let's do an A. We're going to keep our index finger open because we're going to need it after we start making bar chords. So there's A. Let's go up 2 frets. A sharp, B. Okay, so that's a B note. So everything falls in after that. So this is a A chord, open A, right? A sharp, B. So there's a B major chord in A form. Remember, just like an A chord. So B major chord, okay, in A form. Here's a B minor chord in A form. Remember, just, you know, the E form chords are from the middle up, and the A form chords are from the middle down, because we're, if you notice, they're all up in here, and now we're down below from here down. So there's so we were A sharp, B. So there's a B major chord in E form. There's a B minor chord in A form. Here's a B minor 7 chord in A form. Here's a B sus in A form, like an A sus. Remember, B7 B sus in A form. There's a B7 in A form, and there's a B major 7 in A form. Okay, let's go up to C. There's B, C. So here's a C major in A form, like an A chord, see? But it's C because it's that. So you bar that. So there's C major. There's C minor. C minor 7, all in A form. C sus. C because that note is the C sus, C7, and C major 7. Okay, let's go up 2 more. So if that's a C major 7, there's a D major 7 because that's a D note. C sharp, D. So there's a D major 7 in A form. Here's a D major chord in A form. Here's a D minor chord in A form. Here's a D minor 7 chord in A form. Here's a C minor 7 chord in A form. Here's a B minor 7 chord in A form. See how that works? B, C, D. Here's a D sus in A form. Here's a D 7 in A form. Here's a D major 7, and here's a D major. Let's go up 2 more. D sharp, E. Okay, now when you make an E, you can actually hit this top note because that's an E open. So that's a nice full chord. There's an E major chord. Okay, so there's an E major chord. There's an E major chord in A form, because remember there's the A chord. So E major chord in A form. Everything's based off of this 5th note, but in this case, since it's an E chord, you can hit that top one. So there's an E major chord in A form. Here's an E minor chord in A form. Here's an E minor 7, A form. Here's an E sus. Here's an E7. Here's an E major 7. Okay, go up 1, E, F. There's an F major chord, F minor chord. So far, see it? So you can go C major, D minor 7, E minor 7, F to a G. All right. So those are bar chords. You'll have to learn those. So and also if you notice, if you're making, let's say, a C chord here, C in major, a C chord, a C major chord in A form, well, right above it is the G chord in E form. Remember E, E, F, G. So if you know, you start learning these formulas and these. So G, here's a G in E form, G major, and there's a C right below it in A form. Right? Here's an A major chord in E form, bar chord. Right below it is the 4 chord, which is a D major chord, and there's the 4 chord, so the 5 chord's right there. So which would be an E. So I did so there's an A chord, which is the 1 chord. There's a 4 chord, which is D in A form, and there's an E chord, both in A form. Back to so you can mix up A form bar chords and E form bar chords. See that? All right, I hope that helps. Practice, practice, practice.